Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Dean Blundell Show here at DeanBlundell.com. My name is Dean. It's Monday. I find these like Monday podcasts are like the busiest. And we were supposed to do two today, and we didn't have time to do two because I was fucking busy with like business. And then, so we prepped this one. We've got some great people we'll get to in just a second, but it's like Monday. So Monday after an election, the world's coming to an end, or maybe not. COVID is rampant everywhere in the world. We have everything going on today. Extremists are flooding our timeline, telling me to shut up every 3 minutes for the last 48 hours. So we'll get into that. We got lots to get to. So let's bring in our guests today. Joining us from Buffalo, Duane Steinel, Killaloo, James D. Fiore, and Ajax, Joe Williamson. Guys, we got a lot of small towns here. We got Markham, Ajax, Killaloo, and then Buffalo, New York. I love it. Parts unknown.
Thanks for having me, Dean.
Good to see you. Before we start, everybody here safe? No one here has COVID? Everybody good?
No, sir.
You don't?
No COVID.
You don't have it? You don't have it? Okay.
I just got a test too. No, I came back negative.
In your nose? Did you get it in the nose?
Was it for COVID?
Yeah, I gotta say it, and I don't want to make this about drugs, but I was expecting this like anchor to go right down my throat, and I was like, I put cocaine straws farther up my nose than that was. So, a long time ago, but still.
What's it like? Like you go in there, James D. Fiore, our guest at James D. Fiore on Twitter. He's the owner of blackballmedia.ca. What's it like when you go and get a test? Is the person garbed up? Like, are they in a hazmat suit? Is it a quick process? Does it hurt? Explain it.
So where we are, we had it at the local hospital. You go in one at a time, and where we were, the room was situated into two parts, and one part was this woman. She was almost like behind a plexiglass vestibule sort of thing, and she takes your information, and then you walk around the corner, and there is a full hazmat suit guy telling you the process. And they don't even tell you to stick your head back. You just sit like this, and they stick it up your nose about maybe that far, and then they take it out, and then you go, and that's it.
So it's not that far, because everybody I see that gets a test looks like they've been very violated. Like it looks like a very invasive process. It looks like, the faces that people make, and they say it's not a pleasant experience. No big deal.
That's the most first world reaction I've ever heard to something getting stuffed up your nose about that much.
Yeah, we're pussies. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
listen, lots happened, and I want to get to the election before we start talking a little bit more about COVID. But I want to get to the election because Duane is in Buffalo. He just voted. You've got a new president. It lasted a whole fucking 4 or 5 days. They counted and kept counting. All of a sudden, Joe Biden's the winner. Trump's out. How do you feel now? Like, as an American, do you feel liberated? Do you feel relieved?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel a little liberated here. For me with Donald Trump, it was never about what he could or couldn't do from a business standpoint. It wasn't what he could or couldn't do from a stock market standpoint. Honestly, the stock market isn't really a direct reflection of the economy. That everybody knows that. But for me, he was a really shitty human being, man. Really terrible human being. And if I have kids one day, I can't justify, if this subject were to ever come up, telling them that I voted for a man who openly endorsed, I want to say endorsed, but was okay with grabbing women without their permission, was okay with, and regardless of I know the argument that Obama built the cages. Well, you know what? There were different policies under Obama. The way you were doing it was completely, unjustified. And the way you've been doing it, the fact that there are still families that are separated, and families have no idea. You have children who have no idea who they are, who their parents are. It's insanity. And then on top of everything else, just all the other shit that comes out of his mouth that just is extremely embarrassing for me as an American. Just to, and that's my thing. Donald Trump, he works for me. Any politician, they work for me. They're a civil servant to me. And my taxes pay their salary. So anything he says in a microphone or behind a TV camera, it's directly a representation of me as an American citizen, because we voted that guy in. So I just don't agree with just morally the man. It's inexcusable. Some of the shit that he does and it comes out of his mouth, just the constant fucking lying. It's just like, and it's inexcusable. It's fact check that they're fact check. You are lying like more than 90% of the time you step foot behind a microphone, man. It's embarrassing. So all this bullshit that's happened, up until this past week, yeah, it's liberating. And you know what? It's having to wait this long to find out. But you know what? For me, for a guy who hates him as much as I do, I couldn't imagine what it was like being Donald Trump, just day after day watching his lead just dwindle that much more. It's like having a knife in your back and having it slowly dug in, inch by inch, just a little bit more, twisting it a little bit. That's what it felt like for me, man. And, for me, it's just like, it's reassuring, that, hopefully, again, I hate most politicians, but I hope that now under Biden, we can really start to get some of the respect back this country should have from an international level. From
James is laughing. Hold it. James is laughing. Why are you laughing, James? What's so funny?
Well, let me once again preamble this by saying that I know that Joe Biden is better than Donald Trump. Okay, let me just get that out of the way. But so are things that could potentially be covered in feces. So it doesn't even really say much about anything. But nobody really voted for Joe Biden. Everyone just either voted for Trump or against Trump. And so the problem is that we have such a polarized society that, now, doesn't it make you cringe? Have you not heard some politicians talk like, and we know that Joe Biden will elicit the inspiration Americans need to get back to work and blah, blah, blah. Nobody is fucking saying that about Joe Biden. So they're trying to squish him into this aspirational box, and I don't think it's working for them. I don't know what's going to happen. It's clearly a step up from the rodeo clown that was just in office for 4 years. But this candidate is like kind of a lame duck in the sense that, I'm one of those people who I don't think he's completely senile or anything like that, but there's clearly a decline from like 3 years ago. Like it's not something that it's noticeable, and it has nothing to do with his stutter. It's just that he was not as alert as he's
old.
Yeah,
he's old.
Right.
He's old.
But but Bernie Sanders is older.
Guy.
Bernie Sanders is older, but doesn't seem as old, right?
No, absolutely. I actually agree with you there. There definitely is a noticeable difference between the Joe Biden now and the Joe Biden 3 years ago. But what I will say is this: I think again, I'm a big morals guy. Like I'm a very big morals guy, and one of the numbers that sticks out to me is, and you see
how many women Trump raped. That sticks.
Yeah, exactly. 26. The number is 26.
Yeah.
That's not even Cosby light.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, and the thing of it is people call him Creepy Joe and show his pictures where he kisses like a
that's
kid on
nothing,
the cheek,
dude. You know what that is? I'll tell you something. This is, and because I'm dealing with it now, it's like it's everybody uses a picture or takes a sentence and they take a screen grab and then they'll go, hey, listen, this guy's a fucking pervert. Joe Biden's a touchy-feely dude who just likes to hug people. There's a video running around the internet the other day of this kid with Down syndrome whose dad was shot in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting down in Parkland, Florida. And this little kid, his dad was one of the school officers who was shot and killed. And Joe Biden hugged him like he hugged every little girl, like he hugged every woman, like he hugged every man, the exact same fucking way. And so when people start perpetuating those things, that's the stuff that gets my dander up. And it could be Russian bots, probably guaranteed. Russian bots are doing some of it. It could be Iranian bots. It could be Chinese bots, or it just could be some backwoods fucking asshole who's just a complete racist who just cannot stand the idea of not having a guy in the White House that lets him call guys the N-word. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Those are the people he spoke to the most too, Dean. Is like, that's how, my opinion, how he got elected is he spoke so passionately to that demographic of people.
Yeah.
He gave those people a voice, and he got people who probably never fucking came out to vote a day in their life to come out of their fucking woodsheds and finally vote.
And dude, they came out even more in this last election. That's James.
Yeah,
Joe, that's what I couldn't fucking believe is that he mobilized
70
even more
million people voted for him.
Yeah.
70 million people. 70
not
million people are like, he's my guy.
Yeah.
He's the one I want.
And it's not like he did worse. He actually did better from state to state. It's just that there's so many people, a lot of them Republicans too, are so fucking sick of the bullshit that comes with having Donald Trump be our president that they're just like, dude, I'm over it. And a lot of those people, again, I said it 6 months ago, COVID is going to be the thing that really, fucks him out of a second term because of the way he handled it, calling it a hoax for 3 months, and then find out, in fact, that he did know how serious it was, and then didn't decide to address it and call it a hoax.
Well, you could see that in the Senate vote, right? People were
100%.
voting for the Republican senator, but voting for the Democratic president. They were like, I have my conservative views, but I'm tired of this guy.
Yeah, and that's the leg they have to stand on with this whole fraud thing. It's like, well, how come our Senate won, but our president? Because your president's a fucking moron. Because he's a legitimate, petulant child in a fucking suit, a fucking Happy Meal fucking eating twat who just spouts off his racist bullshit in the microphones, and everybody just kind of nods their head because you know what? He's getting the vote. He's getting these people to come out and vote Republican, so we have to go along with this guy. And you know what? The sad part of it is all this shit that Trump did over the last 4 years, it has helped that party. It has helped that party. It got them more seats in the House. It helped them keep control in the Senate. Anybody who thinks that the Democrats won this election, you're fucking stupid because they didn't. There's a good chance they're going to lose the 10 seats in the House, and they're not going to have control of the Senate. Anybody who has half a brain in politics knows or remembers the Barack Obama administration is if you don't have support from the Senate, you're not going to get much done as president. And that's a fucking fact. So tell me when it's on the same fucking ballot that you're going to rig the presidential election, but you're not going to rig the Senate. You're not going to rig the House. You're all fucking morons if you think this is a goddamn conspiracy. I'm sorry, you are. Because if you want to get anything done as president, you need support from the House. And if you really think Joe Biden is going to go head to head with Mitch McConnell and do a better job than Barack Obama, I'm sorry, dude, you're fucking doing some type of crazy drug because I'm going off.
Got 6 grams of mushrooms, James? Is that what he's talking about?
I don't know if it's mushrooms or meth that Duane seems to be on, but it's working.
Oh, dude.
He's
It's just the stupidity of it all.
Yeah, but can I ask you, James, your assessment? I love the passion, love it, the best. Your assessment is that 70 million. Are those people just a collection of evangelical Christians who just can't stand abortion? Combined with a whole bunch of incredibly smart, very rich capital markets guys, combined with, a bunch of fucking losers. Is that, rednecks and stuff like that? Is that really the 70 million people that voted for Donald Trump in your estimation in this election? After all the shit that he did?
I think mostly, but I mean, the evangelical leaders made a deal with the devil in 2016, and they knew that they were making that deal. And some of them even told their congregations that they were making a deal with someone that they didn't like. But and I can't believe this actually happened the way that the thought experiment went, but it was a long game for the Supreme Court justice nomination that could tilt the courts away from keeping abortion legal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that out of those 3 categories of people that you just said, I think it was probably mostly Christians, not just evangelicals. But anybody that decided that has decided that they are pro-life, they probably were really motivated by local organizations and religious group and churches to go vote and bring 5 people with you and all that kind of stuff, because that was the issue of this election. Like there was, I can't think of a bigger issue that didn't get talked about by the media for the most part. But that's what the people were thinking. They were thinking about abortion.
Yeah. Yeah, you know
so.
what? And that's all I got out of those 70 million votes, is that it was just really a collection of selfish money guys, a whole bunch of racists, and generally the evangelical Christian movement. And you saw evangelical Christians just hand in their fucking human cards over the last 4 years too, which I love.
Yeah.
Like every single fucking one of them did. And
they just got them.
I know. just like yesterday. But I came from an
like
evangelical.
Easter, wasn't it, or something?
No, it's always on Good Friday. That's when they get mailed out.
Oh, right. Okay.
Again, I came from this home where I was espoused to these stupid fucking evangelical Christian views, and I can tell you that is it is the biggest issue in that church that they can rally around, because it's the death of a fetus, right? So they go, oh fuck, it's an unborn life and God, and it's the ultimate sin to take a life and all this other bullshit, when there's no real ultimate sin at all. It's just a fucking whole mess. And the reason why they did this is because they finally got like a taste of being able to fucking dictate the agenda, evangelical Christians, because they had this crazy cocksucker as president. So they got to be part of the national conversation. In fact,
wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
No, they've been running things since Reagan, though.
Yeah, but
they've been
they were
creating
allowed to come
policies.
out from behind the stones and out of the shadows, and because it wasn't a Democratic led society. Barack Obama wasn't the fucking president, and so this emboldened all of those people to come out and stand on street corners with dead fetuses on a placard, grossing everybody out, going to schools with those half aborted fetuses on cardboard boxes to show all the kids. Like that's what we're talking about here.
How many times has that ever worked? How many times has someone walked up and was like, "That's an interesting photo. Can you tell me more?"
Yeah.
You should use the grayscale filter on that for sure.
What Instagram effect are you using on that?
What filter did you use?
For me,
what do we have here? What was your inspiration for this half aborted fetus?
what blows my mind, Dean, what blows my mind is with evangelicals is just like how they could sit there and just grit their teeth and listen to this fucking clown talk the way he does about women and just the Epstein stuff. Like, anybody who doesn't think that Donald Trump wasn't in bed with Epstein, I'm sorry, you're a fucking idiot.
It's worse than that. They don't care.
They don't care. And there's pictures, there's quotes. The man lent his jet to Epstein multiple times.
They don't care.
He lent Mar-a-Lago to him multiple times.
They don't care.
But hey,
they ran. I don't know how much of that you read, the Epstein thing, but they ran part of that kitty rub and tug out of Mar-a-Lago for years. Like, and they don't care. They were okay with it. Every racist was okay with it. Every born-again Christian was okay with it. But you know what the best part of this whole thing for me was, like, little nuggets that have come out of this, like right fighters like Jerry Falwell and Becky Falwell, who hit the skids over the last little while when you found out the leader of the evangelical movement in the United States is an alcoholic who likes to watch his wife get banged by college guys.
That was like, can I just say?
And by the way, she's hot.
Out of all the things that I've ever heard, out of all the things that I've ever heard about a Falwell family member, that might be the most redeeming one I've heard yet.
Yeah.
So I don't. You're a voyeur.
Did you not? Good. Did you guys not? Did you read any of that? Like, he would, like, Jerry Falwell. She would go and pick guys, and they would bring a guy home, and Jerry would sit in the corner.
I thought it was kind of hot.
And drink.
It was a little bit hot.
It was a little bit hot.
So he was a cuck.
He was a little bit hot. Yeah, he loved getting cucked. He loved cuck videos.
Listen, cuckold porn is very popular right now.
It's huge.
So he hit it at the right time.
So he would sit there in the corner getting cucked while his wife was just getting slammed by some 21-year-old guy.
He's doing the old slow stroke in the corner. It's fine.
He's just Jeffrey Tubin it. That's all he's doing.
Who
masturbates on a Zoom call anyway?
He's peeking through the door like he's catching them doing the wrong thing. He's just sitting there. Oh yeah.
So one of the things that came out of this, and I was shocked because we've got Remembrance Day coming up here in Canada, Duane, where we pay respects to the fallen men and women of this country, forefathers, brothers, sisters, uncles, pick a relative. And I'm interested I know where Joe sits on this. He's very pro-poppy, pro-service with me. I have family that served in England and in Canada. And I'm not a military guy, but I have reverence and respect for the sacrifices our boys and girls made. I always have. It was never about the cause. It was always about the people who, whether they needed the money so they signed up, whether they wanted to further their education so they're signed up. These people sacrificed a lot for us, and I have ultimate reverence for that. So over the weekend, this guy named David Mastracci. Am I saying his name right, James? You know him.
I just call him shitface.
Oh.
But that sounds right to me. I have a history with him. So
I'm excited to get to
I'm
that.
not just coming to your defense, Steve.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm glad you're not. I would rather you not and me get sewered and have it be authentic, to be honest with you. I'm all about the authenticity. So this guy writes an article, shits on the poppy, shits on journalists wearing the poppy, says no one should wear the poppy, says it's a sign of imperialism. I then tweet, this is fucking dumbest shit I ever read. Grow up. He then starts, it's like he flew so close. It was like the greatest experience of his life was me telling him he was a fucking moron. So he then took screen grabs of me telling him he was a moron, then called us an alt-right news organization, which I fucking laughed about, and then said that I shit all over him. I shit all over him for hating the poppy, and I'm an imperialist, and like just the fucking and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this collection of other left extremists, extremely left extremists, alt-left extremists, patchouli wearing fuck jobs, came out of the woodwork, and I'm dead center. James, you and I know that, right? I'm not right. I'm not left. I'm fucking dead center. I hate the national anthems at games, at hockey games, and I love the poppy. I'm weird, but that's just how I feel. So I studied it. I looked at these tweets, and every single one of them was the same. It was like, shut up, loser. That's all they said. Shut up, loser. And then when I'm like, no, I like the poppy, then they would say, I need to die for my imperialist views.
Wait.
Wow,
So,
that went dark pretty quick.
so they hate you. So they hate
Shut
you
up.
because
No.
Shut up,
Kill
loser!
yourself.
You
Right.
imperialist madman.
So they hate
they
me
hate
because I am standing up for my love of the poppy, and I'm also standing up for their right to not like it. I'm the only thing that I said, and not the only. This is my fucking big issue, is that you can hate something, but if you're gonna hate something publicly and use it against somebody to hurt them, you're a cocksucker. You're just an extremist asshole. Am I wrong? Who is the left?
No,
Explain who those people are, James, if you can.
Most of them are recent products of academia. It's true. They're, David or whatever his name is was my editor at Huffington Post.
David Mastracci is his
and
name.
The last article. Yeah, and when I talked to him on the phone once, I was like, "Is this kid like 12 years old?" Like, he was like straight out of. And I'm not saying that you can't be an editor straight out of college, but you probably can't be an editor straight out of college, right? So I wrote a piece, and it was really kind of interesting because we're talking about it now in a way like just polarization and left and right and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I segmented my piece into two parts. And in the first half, I criticized conservatives, and the second half, I sort of laid into liberals a little bit. And he brought it back. The second half was, the conservative criticisms were totally clean. He didn't touch it. Every single criticism I had about progressives, he was like, I need you to research and find evidence that progressives can be irrational. And I'm like, you're fucking doing it right now. Like, right now. I should have just sent him a recording of that call. Here's one example. Fuck this,
What's he all about, though? Like, what is his deal? Is he?
He's a communist. He's a communist. He's just a communist.
Because there's his Twitter.
I don't mean it in the McCarthy way. I mean, he's legit. Yeah, he's a legit socialist, communist, hybrid kind of guy.
And so, he thinks
left.
what? So he thinks what? If he's a very socialist, communist guy, David Mastracci, who I get a kick out of the name. Guaranteed he added the E himself. Guaranteed.
Well, listen, I know like some college professors, and I know, and there's people like Nora Loretto. That's this crowd, right? So anything the military does is wrong because they're part of the colonialist structure. Anything that's has to do that's connected to Remembrance Day is really just connected to like white supremacy, militant colonialism, imperialism, blah blah blah. And so the poppy is really just a symbol that protects these evil institutions from being held accountable for the crimes they commit. And then we celebrate the soldiers that help them commit the crimes. That's basically their position. And of course, it's really rigid. It doesn't make any sense. You'll notice something about the left. They don't really
they're mentally unwell
in support of their opinion. They don't sit and talk. They don't sit and talk about the importance of their opinions. They talk about how important it is that everyone else shares their opinion.
Yes,
that's really what it's all about for them. Right? So,
Am I wrong for saying this? Does it sound like the left and right are in Canada are almost the opposite from the left and right here in the States, or am I wrong with saying that?
No,
You're probably
no.
wrong, but our right wingers are not quite as right wing as
Yeah.
yours, and our left wingers are a lot left wing, more left wing.
Sure, because I mean, on the left, it's more or less, I wouldn't really say there's people that hate the military or veterans, but it's more or less. I don't know how to explain it. You're more hardcore. You're more hardcore on the right hand side of things, where you're support your troops no matter what. If you kneel for the anthem, fuck you. You hate the troops. And on the left, it's just quite the opposite. You're entitled to your opinion, and just because not far left, but on the left, you're entitled to your opinion just because you take a knee for the anthem, or you have this opinion doesn't mean you hate you hate veterans,
Right.
and you hate the troops.
Right.
But I just want to clear that up, because it was almost sound like it was the opposite, at least from
No,
where the
it's
standpoint here is.
my understanding, James. It's the same, but what I'm seeing now is like the alt left or these extremists. And I did some digging into extremism and mental health, and as a matter of fact, you can draw a straight line from someone who's mentally unwell, undiagnosed, untreated, or poorly treated mental illness to extremism, whether it's left or right wing extremism. And the reason why is because of increased anxiety and depression that comes with worry and paranoia over a few things like not having money. So the reason why the left is so extremely paranoid, and they are 50 times more likely to seek mental health treatment for their extremist views than anybody else. It's a fact. Fucking look it up. Well, don't look it up. Go to deanblundell.com and check out the source. Look it up. Google it. Google it.
Google it.
But those
It's a fact. You're on your own.
And I had to
Trust me.
go hunt for it.
But
When I was doing the piece, I was like, listen, I need to put some fucking facts in here instead of just swinging away at these individuals, because the individuals didn't bother me, right? Like the individual person that has the issue, who comes at me from the right or the left, and they tell me to shut up, or I'm a piece of shit, or go hang my colonial ass, or whatever the fuck. I know those are just really lonely, sad sacks in their mom's basement, part of the basement masturbators brigade, and they're just waiting for just another round of War of Warcraft with their friends to start up. So I know that those are those people. I know the kind, because I see it. Like, they've all got 10 followers, 15 followers. They've all got this little rose in their bio. Did you notice that? Social Democrats have this little emoji rose in their bio. I've done a little research into that. And it's like, there's strength in numbers. And my point is this, is that why don't we just get the alt left and the alt right a whole bunch of fucking counseling? Like, why can't we mandate?
I don't think they need it.
You gotta want it. You gotta want it.
Because that would fix them. That would,
also,
honest to God, if we took all those people and we said, listen, we need to teach you how to be happy, and happiness is going to be living in the moment, not worrying about things you can't control. And that's what these people have, is a problem with things they can't control. So they try to control what everybody else thinks. Am I wrong?
Well, you're right. You're half right, because what they also do is they try to, they seek out the triggers that make them anxious. Right. So they don't just like, wow, this factoid is making me anxious. They look for things that will make them angry, because that's sort of the fuel that they use, that passion, that drive to like get to wherever they think they're going.
They go down that Facebook rabbit hole, right? You start finding opinions that back up your own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get empowered by those thoughts, and then you attack Dean.
I don't understand
the way it
why.
goes.
I don't understand why anyone feels empowered by that. I avoid the echo chambers, because I'm just like, hey, thanks for blowing sunshine in my ass.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Like, I'd rather have a discussion than.
There's no room for debate anymore, right? There's no room for debate.
That's where it kind of gets lost here in the States, man. Is like you said it, James. Is like, there's room for discussion. Like, nobody wants to discuss anymore. Nobody wants to have a legitimate, mature discussion anymore. You're on one side or the other, or fuck you. And that's where a lot of these fucking idiots that come out and vote, I'm not just saying it's on one side or the other, but for Trump, these like far right wing idiots, there's no room for discussion. You see some of these videos that come up this week with these conspiracy theorists. There's no talking to them. There's it's like you could provide them with fact after fact after fact after fact. They could show you all these videos of this person changing a ballot, and you could tell them like, well, that's their job. Like if there's something wrong with that ballot, if there's a crease and it doesn't run through the video, it's their job to to take that ballot and refill it out for the voters. Like, no, there's no way that's what it's going on. But like, yeah, but there's like a Republican sitting at the same table with them watching them do this. Like, and there's a person standing right. It's just like no, that's voter fraud. That's voter fraud. It's like, oh,
we're at a point in society where we can't agree on what a fact is. This is a fact. No, it's an alternative fact. There's nothing in between.
No, and it's not that we have, all kinds of problems. Like I think we fixed a bunch of problems the other day, and I agreed with Duane off the top too. Like, having Donald Trump be the president made me fucking nervous all the time. You know what I mean? And it's not like I've got anxiety anymore. I've dealt with it. I don't have the issues that I don't worry. It just really felt like he was such a fucking terrible person. The embarrassment for your country was like fucking palpable. Like you were a joke. And I said that to some guys in a podcast. And in Canada, we feel like we're living on top of a fucking meth lab. It's an old analogy that a lot of people, but that's what it feels like. It feels like we're living in an apartment above a fucking meth lab with some crazy bastard in the bottom of the meth lab that doesn't give a fuck about anything but himself. And so, when you see and you hear and you feel and you talk to Americans and you and then you watch people fill the void. You watch the Marxists and the fascists, who, by the way, who the fuck chooses that belief? Who the fuck openly chooses to go, you know what, I'm a Marxist fascist?
I can answer that question. Black Lives Matter. It's true.
Yeah. And you know what?
True.
And that's one of those things where you can't, at least I can't find my way to fucking any kind of solidarity with anybody that just wants to hate a specific group. You know what I mean?
But that's a good analogy to make actually about one of the differences between the left and the right is that the right, they have their organizations are villainized from top to bottom in the media, and then the left-wing organizations are not. And not only are they not, but like I don't know if I've heard a bad Black Lives Matter report in a non-Fox News media outlet since all this started, since all the George Floyd stuff started. And that is so dangerous because I can't name one other organization on the planet in my entire lifetime that gained infallibility status. I can't think of one.
Well, I think because it's such
that's pretty dangerous.
It's such a hot thing, right? Like anytime someone's asked me about my stance,
I think it's because they're scared as shit. I think.
Oh, of course.
I think corporations are scared to criticize anything for Black Lives Matter. In fact,
sponsorship deals would go out the window.
Yeah.
The Poppy thing for Whole Foods was actually a response to Black Lives Matter fans, or whatever you want to call them, that worked at Whole Foods, who were told they couldn't wear Black Lives Matter apparel. So what Whole Foods did is that they did a judgment call where they're like, well, since we didn't let Black Lives Matter people wear their stuff, we should eliminate this 100-year-old tradition. For sure, because
are those not two fucking yeah, those are two different things.
Well, they are, but okay. I'm speculating because I haven't done any reporting on this. But come on, it was 3 months ago where they fired or suspended 7 or 8 people for wearing Black Lives Matter clothes, and I know that is connected to this decision because they reversed it too. So someone that was extra woke was like, let's take these imperialists out, and then someone that had an IQ over 85 was like, I don't think we should do that, right? So that's what happened.
I know that there are certain subjects I stay away from too, and it's funny because James goes there, like he talks about the issues with Black Lives Matter. He talks about the issues in the transgender community, like the J.K. Rowling thing, because it defies common sense. There's this understanding from that side, the left, that, and my son was asking me about it the other day. We were in the car and he's like, Dad, can trans guys get their period? And I said, son, privately, I'll have this conversation with you, but I will never have it publicly. And the reason why is because there's no upside to me even trying to figure that one out. You know what I mean? And so I say, trans rights are human rights. That's all I say. Same thing with Black Lives Matter. There's no upside to me saying, okay, let me find the kooks in that organization, if there are any. And I'm sure there are, because every organization has them. And so when someone says, tell me about Black Lives Matter, my response is always the fucking same, which is Black Lives Matter. Always.
Yeah. I'm on team as Bill. It was Bill Burr. Like, mind your own fucking business. If someone decides, if someone's trans, if someone's if someone's gay, mind your own fucking business, man. It doesn't affect your life at all. Shut the fuck up and go live your own life.
But what if I'm also gay? Then then it matters to me, right?
Yeah, but then
I have to go, Dean. Sorry, I have to split now. It's time for me to go deal with my Christmas madness.
Yeah, what's the deal? You've got to go and figure out a Christmas schedule, the COVID Christmas schedule.
Yeah, because all the people in the most hot spot COVID areas in the province thinks I should go from my basically COVID-free riding all the way down to them and then get COVID in Brampton. So
one of the stories I had too, based off the conversation.
Just a sec, hang on, because James has to go. I will say this, James, that is the fucking worst. I cannot imagine doing that tonight. Having to go from this podcast.
Also, go fuck yourself, Dean.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.
Take care. James D. Fiore, blackballmedia.ca. Great guy. Smart guy. You know what I like about him is he always breaks it down technically, right? Duane, sorry, I stopped you. You were going to say something?
Oh, just based off the conversation, we were having with James before he left. One quick story I have as far as how impossible it is to explain things away that are common sense to some of these people. As I was having a conversation with, he was a Trump supporter, a friend. We were out getting something to eat, and it was about the whole impeachment trial, just the business between Biden and Ukraine back when Biden was vice president. And he said, he kept on saying that, Ukraine was the one that brought it up during the phone conversation about Biden and giving information over, and it wasn't Trump. And I said, no, it was Donald Trump who brought it up. He was trying to stronghold Ukraine in that military aid, however much money it was, like $200 million, whatever it was. And, he was trying to use the Hunter Biden, situation to stronghold them into giving him information on Biden to use against him in the election. And he goes, no, it wasn't like, so I pulled the whole transcript right from what was released from the White House. I'm like, dude, read this right here. It shows right here when the subject is first brought up. This is directly from the fucking White House.
Right.
From the White House. And Trump initiates the conversation with, I think his name is Zelensky. And, it's essentially, quid pro quo, whatever it is that
help me out.
If you
help me out, I'll help you out.
Yeah. And just so happens that military aid or that financial aid was put on hold. There was a stop put on it at the same fucking time. So it's like common sense should play into this with people. It's like, yeah, the current sitting president was trying to make a deal to get information on his competitor in the election in exchange for aid that should just be given anyway. Like, that's what blows my mind. It's just
what blows my mind, dude?
It's like, dude, it's
and you know what blows my mind? That's
black and white.
But that's the least of his issues. That's of all the terrible things he's done, those are the least of his issues. I'm excited for the following. Let me just say this, and I've got a little video to play for you coming up in just a couple of minutes. I'm excited for the following. I'm excited for the reckoning of every single one of Trump's kids. I'm excited to watch Rudy Giuliani go to prison, that sweaty fucking mess. I'm excited to watch Joe Biden roll back all these fucking archaic measures, and get those kids out of those cages and reunite family. I'm excited for the good stories too, but what I'm really excited for is all the frog marching. What I'm really excited for is, because this is what I really think. Like, if you ask me, why is Donald Trump right now fighting this shit? Because he's fighting everything. Today he's like, I'm fighting the shit out of everything again. And we're going to do it from the Four Seasons landscaping business, which is between a dildo shop and a fucking crematorium. How about that business, eh? Did you guys get that this last week?
Oh, yeah.
Where Donald Trump's like, we're having a thing at the Four Seasons landscaping company. And everybody's like, are you fucking serious? And sure enough, they go to the Four Seasons landscaping company.
It was great. It was great because they obviously misbooked, or they misbooked it, you know, and I want to know who the fucking person was with Four Seasons Landscape and who answered that phone was like, "Oh yeah, come on now, you're good, you're good, you're fine, get over here." That was the fucking hero to
now,
me.
was that what happened? Is that what happened, Duane? Is it they booked the Four Seasons, but they accidentally booked the wrong Four Seasons?
That's a story. There was a follow up, and somebody fucked up, and just looked up Four Seasons, called the number, booked it, and somebody on the phone was like, yeah, I mean, in all honesty, that's free publicity for them if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, during a pandemic, we need all that, we need all the support again. Bring Giuliani down. And one side you got, if you need your grandma cremated, here you go. On the other side, you need your fleshlight, your butt plug, here you go. And out in the middle, you got grass seed half off.
Yeah. It was literally in this like industrial section of Pennsylvania, like right next to a sex shop and a fucking crematorium, and they still went through with it. Like they didn't. The part that killed me, Joe, is they didn't rebook it. They didn't. They're like, oh, let's just fucking go to that place. We already booked it.
They hung up the banners and everything for the photo op. It was probably just some disgruntled intern who voted for Biden and was like, I got a spot for you guys to deliver a press conference.
Fuck America.
Oh yeah.
America, you are incredible.
All hosted by the guy in Borat who got caught giving himself a self-fluff in front of what he thought was a 15-year-old news reporter.
Yeah. Because those just wander around
He's
all the
had
time.
a rough month. Giuliani's had a rough month.
Yeah, he really has, hasn't he? It's been fun to watch. I'll miss it. Like I still think we've got some great entertainment coming out of this thing. I think the next little while is going to be great.
Yep.
Mark my words. This is what's going to happen. Timestamp Noah Races, Monday, 9:10 p.m. on the 9th day of November, the year of our Lord 2020. This is exactly what's going to happen. Look at me. I'm telling you the truth. This is what's going to happen. We're going to make a promo out of this. This is what's going to happen. Mark it. Monday, 9:10 p.m., November the 9th, the year of our Lord 2020. Donald Trump is going to resign, making Mike Pence the president. Mike Pence is going to stay with me. I've been on this for fucking weeks. I've been tweeting about it. I've been all over it. I own this whole fucking angle. And then Donald Trump is going to get pardoned for all the federal stuff, as are his kids. And then he's going to have to deal with the state stuff in New York. Here's the rub. He's going to move to Russia. There's no way he can fucking live here. How the fuck can he live here?
Boom.
How can he fucking live here? How can he live in that country? Because they're going to take if you think Joe Biden isn't going to go, fuck, this is going to be great. Like, after all the dumb shit he did, after fucking almost bringing that country to the fucking brink of a dictatorship, the greatest country in the world.
How about
you're crazy. He's fucking
and it's just Obama in the background pulling the strings like, I got something for you to do for me, Joe. I need you to go at him.
How about the fact that during the debate, and this is the ultimate pot calling the kettle black, he sat there and made light of Hunter Biden, his son, his only surviving son, mind you, because Bo passed away. He was also a veteran, and we all know the story now of when Joe Biden was 29 and lost almost his entire family in a fucking car accident.
Yeah.
Like, the guy knows empathy. The guy knows how, lost. As far as being relate to that is concerned, yeah, Joe Biden can relate. But the fact that fucking pile of shit went on a national debate and brought up Hunter Biden's drug past, like the guy, like honestly, and if you have been through that in life, everything that kid was through the loss. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He experimented a little bit with drugs. He probably depressed. Like, not that it's an excuse, but I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
To make light of that, like your own fucking offspring, like Donald Trump Jr. isn't a fucking cokehead himself. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. That is the ultimate pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
And you want to know what? All props to Joe Biden for keeping his composure, not walking across that stage and taking a swing. Because if it was me, I would have lost the election that night because I would have beat the fuck out of Donald Trump.
I would have loved a geriatric fight. That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
just
like
CFL. Come here.
People fight.
20 style boxing, like fucking fists and everything like that. The old Jack Johnson. Give you the old
meet Malark and Murky. Meet Malarkey.
I want to leave you guys because we shit on the alt left quite a bit today. And I can't leave this without taking a big shit on the alt-right. This woman's name's Michelle Bachmann. Do you have the video there, Sean? Michelle Bachmann. Michelle Bachmann used to be a senator, congressman, one of the two. She's fucking, I don't know, Republican, crazy. She's an evangelical Christian. And she, like Kenneth Copeland, like all the other wacko, crazy evangelical Christians, has taken to her knees to try and bring Trump the presidency. And when I say take it to her knees, she's not blowing God. Although
that we know of.
She may have. She would if it worked. If she could get Donald Trump into the presidency, Michelle Bachmann would blow God. If he were real. Or she. Which she isn't.
Her insane prayer.
Yeah. So I want you to read. This is Michelle Bachmann. She put this on Twitter today. She's a Trump supporter, former congressman, Michelle Bachmann. And this is her basically conjuring an iron rod from God to try and shake up the election so that Trump can win. These, and keep in mind, I've seen probably 30 of these, 40 of these from evangelicals like Paula White, Kenneth Copeland, Joel Osteen. What's the fucking guy's name with the big teeth? Osteen? Joel Osteen. This is why Trump was in power. This is why he was so fucking powerful. This is the exact reason why this woman is embarrassing herself on social media for millions of people to see, praying to an inanimate God that does not fucking exist, asking him to intervene in the presidential election with some type of magical iron fucking rod. Like, I can't make this up. If there was a movie and I explained the movie that this was the movie, you would go, that's not a movie, that's craziness. Dean, you can't convince me that there's a woman on this planet who's going to pray as loud as she possibly can for God to beat the shit out of Joe Biden with some magic rod, who once helped run the country. This is a doctor. This person's a fucking doctor. I want you to watch this. Have a listen. This is the alt-right, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have that? Is it ready, Sean? Yeah, there it is. Oh, we're getting it. Hang on.
Wait.
It's coming.
Did Michelle Bachmann have a failed attempt at the presidency as well?
Yeah, I think so. And it looks like she was good. It looks like she was good like 30 years ago.
I ask, oh God, that you would take your iron rod, and I ask that you would smash the clay jar of deceit in America. Smash the clay jar of delusion in the United States of America. Smash the delusion, Father, of Joe Biden as our president. He is not. Yeah. Would you take your iron rod and smash the strong delusion that Nancy Pelosi does have her House of Representatives? We don't know that. Smash it in Jesus' name. Smash, Lord, the takeover of the U.S. Senate by Chuck Schumer. Lord, smash it with your iron rod. I ask, oh God, that you would take your iron rod.
I just
and I ask that you would smash.
There you go.
The clay jar of deceit in America.
I don't remember. I was born and raised Christian. I don't remember the iron rod in the Bible. I don't recall
the iron rod
God
of justice,
waving his iron rod around at people. No, I don't remember the iron rod of just that. I would have remembered that part of the book.
Listen, when it comes to religion, for me, and I've said this to you before too, Dean, is. I'm never going to shit on somebody who's religious, because if you have a religion to you that makes you be a good person and carry good value and carry good moral, then all support for you, man, because if that's what you need to be a good person, that's fine. That's fine. But when you have something like this, like this type of fucking insanity, like you seriously need your fucking head checked, because that is absolutely
fucked
insanity.
Yeah.
Switch the decaf. switch to
That's
decaf.
fucked. I've got a
Like,
very good
holy-
understanding of the Bible being brought up in that crazy fucked up religion. I've got a very good understanding of it, to the point where my family probably doesn't enjoy having conversations with me because I can offer the opposite opinion. They're wonderful people. They're still mixed up in it a little bit, but not as much. They definitely don't share the same separatist views at all. But I can tell you that the funny part to me is that she literally is like painfully begging God to take this magic rod, which my understanding of the Bible, like yours, Joe, does not exist. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Like, that's how fucked it. I know way too much about the Bible. It's not on the New Testament. It's not in the Old Testament. It's not in Numbers, Deuteronomy, Exodus, Leviticus. It's not in the fucking Revelations. It's not in the first 4 books of the Bible, known as the New Testament. It's not in the Old Testament. It's nowhere. It's not. It is not in Genesis. It's not even in the appendix. There is no iron rod. Yes, Duane Steinel from Buffalo. Go ahead. Yes, you please. Go ahead.
Iron rod, something that can be purchased at that sex shop. Is that where the iron rod is?
God,
That where it
She's
is?
sitting on that.
that's what she's.
Rod?
Maybe that's what she's praying for.
She's praying for that. The moment she found out that that's where the conference was, she got online. She had an overnight ship, Amazon Prime.
That's right.
And that's what she's praying to. It's this black iron rod
Yeah.
in the middle of her fucking living room.
Circumcised.
That Rudy Giuliani himself may not have blessed himself with water from the hose, water from the garden hose behind the landscape, Four Seasons Landscaping. And she's just up there, just pleading for the iron rod. I'm on my knees. God, please give Donald Trump the election. And then, she goes off air and she sticks to her Christian values, and is she married? Is she, I don't know if she's married or not. If she's not married, she's clearly just following the old, not having sex until you're married routine, and just using that iron rod. Like, I don't know, maybe sitting on it.
You can do anything. You can do anything with that big iron rod of justice that she's asking God to send from the heavens. It's beautiful. Anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast. I had a blast today. There's nothing better than shitting on people and things who aren't common sense. Like I said, Mondays are a fucking busy day. We didn't even get to COVID. It's bad. Stay in your house. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Thanks to our friends at Blue Microphones, the official microphone of DeanBlundell.com and the DeanBlundell.com podcast network, of which Joe Williamson and Duane Steinel are a part of. 2 goalies, 1 mic for Duane. And a brand new podcast coming, which we can't talk about. We can't really talk about that podcast yet, can we? Duane, I don't think we can.
We could talk about it. Okay. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. Yeah, we just added a new podcast called Fucked Up.
Fucked Up podcast, yep. It's with...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, with Allie and Nicole. They're absolute wagons over in Calgary. And then we're obviously combining my talents and theirs for a new podcast, which I'll let Dean, at some point, either right now or in the future, introduce.
We're going to do the OnlyFans podcast with Duane Steinel and the 2 girls from the Fucked Up podcast. And coincidentally, I believe both of them are members of OnlyFans. Is that not correct?
They are. They do. And that's the funny thing, man, is because when me and you had this conversation about bringing them on, I had no fucking clue they had their own OnlyFans accounts. Yeah. And then as I was talking, you were Zoom calling, like, I pull up their profile. I was like, wait, hold on. These girls have OnlyFans accounts. So this is like a match made in heaven. Yeah. And they love hockey, and they love talking about dumb shit and fun shit and guy shit and girl shit. So the Fucked Up podcast is at DeanBlundell.com, and the OnlyFans podcast will be coming to DeanBlundell.com with Duane Steinel and the 2 girls from the Fucked Up podcast. So that'll be fun, won't it? Hey, Joe, that'll go right after the Nerd Dad podcast.
They go together. It's natural fit.
So anyway, thanks to Blue Microphones, the official microphone of DeanBlundell.com and the network. Now up to 27 podcasts. If you want to enter our Show Us Your Podcast content, Show Us Your Podcast contest, that's what I meant, you can go to dblundell.com, click on the link, enter your podcast there, and just send us your thing, and then it's just a link. It's just you just cut and paste the link. That's really all you do. You put your information in there too. We'll get to you, and then we'll listen to it. And if it's good, we'll call you, put you on the podcast. We had That Toronto Show guys on last week. They were fucking great. This week, the guys from a podcast, a fucking really, really good gaming podcast called the Fodder Figures Podcast, guys. The Fodder, and these guys are fucking really good, amazing. And we need content. We need that gamer content big time. As you can tell, you'll like it, Joe. You'll love all those guys.
And
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I know me and Dean, we've talked about possibly bringing you some Bills content here in the future. Let's hope that's just down the pipeline very shortly.
You can't say anything like that, Duane. You can't tell people that stuff. That's private business now.
Can't tell?
No, we're doing private business. You can't give out private business.
All right,
But yeah, we're doing that too. We're doing that too, for sure. We're doing everything. It's going to be the best. Thanks to Owner's Box Fantasy Sports as well. Owner's Box Fantasy Sports, right now, $100 match deposit, $100 in free money they will give you when you put in $100 when you go and sign up. Go and do it. You're stupid if you don't. Makes football the best. Owner's Box. Go to DeanBlundell.com. You can sign up. You can play online. You can do it all. It's all self-contained. It's fantasy sports, weekly, huge payouts, and $100 match deposit. $100. You get free $100. They'll give you $100 just to go sign up. If you put in 100. It's the easiest thing in the world. Owner's Box Fantasy Sports, the premier weekly fantasy sports platform on the planet. Ed's Fine Imports. Forgot to talk about his gitch. I'm going to send you guys a pair of these, by the way. Ed's Fine Imports. Boxer briefs. Keep your biscuits comfortable all day, every day. Pouch in the front. Really, really stretchy. They're great for goalie gear, under goalie gear, because they're a little bit longer in the legs. Steinel. You'll love them as a goaltender. So our friend...
Get back on the ice here.
Not for a while. Not with this COVID. Can't believe we didn't have time to get to
not with
it.
the COVID.
Anyway, so Ed's Fine Imports, GITCH3 is your promo code. Go to edsfineimports.com. Use the promo code GITCH and then the number 3, and you'll get 4 pairs of underpants for the price of 3. edsfineimports.com. There. Oh, look at that. It's right there. You put it up on the screen. Thanks, buddy. Great job today. Thanks, Duane. Thanks, Joe. Thanks to everybody for listening, watching. Wherever you are, you can download us wherever you get your fine podcasts. And you can also go to DeanBlundell.com. iTunes, Twitch TV, Dean Blundell TV on Twitch, YouTube, DeanTube. Am I forgetting anything, Joe? IG, Instagram? You're the socials guy. Am I forgetting something?
No, you got it all.
No? Twitch?
I am the
Twitter?
socials guy. No, you're good.
All right. Did you have
Twitch
fun?
and YouTube, Twitch and YouTube, Twitch and YouTube. Say it over again.
Twitch
I
and
love
YouTube.
it.
Twitch
Twitch
and
and
YouTube.
YouTube, Twitch and YouTube. That's just everyone go there.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I'm going to promote the shit out of this in the last 10 seconds.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for listening and watching to the DeanBlundell.com podcast. Twitch and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
That was great.